Hi, back again for chapter 9. You should have all gotten your grades and comments on your um, case study on First in Show. I think that's a really good case study. It gives you a good feeling for some of the issues surrounding new product introductions, and there are lots of them. There's pricing, there's channel choice, there's um, product and packaging, all of those things, and of course the promotion piece as well. So lots of information there, and it's a complicated, difficult thing to launch a new product, especially a product that doesn't have a direct comparable out there in the marketplace. So it's meant to serve a need, but it's serving it in a different way. So interesting stuff. So we're going to continue on to chapter 9, and we're going to do another of the P's here, the last of the P's. And this is the promotion P. And this is the one that many non-marketers think is what marketing is all about, which is the advertising and promotion part of marketing. But as you've seen, there's lots of other parts or factors and facets of marketing that aren't quite as obvious to the consumer, but are just as important to a successful marketing program. So when we talk about promotion, there are 5 basic things in your toolbox. The one we always think about is advertising. So advertising is defined as paid communication. So you're paying someone, whether it's a radio station, a television station, an internet site, or a magazine or newspaper, or lots of other kinds of advertising too, you're paying someone to communicate your message. And you control the message, and you pay someone to communicate it. So that's the typical form of advertising. The second one here, sales promotion, this is, you touched on it a little bit in First in Show when a lot of you talked about couponing. Couponing is a form of sales promotion. Sales promotion is about direct response. It's about getting someone to move. So we do coupons to get people to move. We do sales to get people to move. Retailers often use a lot of sales promotion, which is, buy it today, lowest price of the year, price is going back up tomorrow. It's designed to get people to finally make a decision. Because consumers often may want something, may want to do something, but they never quite do it. So promotion is about eliciting action. Public relations is really misunderstood. Public relations, perhaps for many marketers, it may be the most powerful of all of these tools. PR is non-paid communication. So we don't pay someone to publish our PR messages. They publish them for free and promote our business or our message for free. So most people think of public relations as putting out fires when something goes bad, but public relations can be a very powerful tool for marketing. It can help an organization spread their message, and because it's done on a non-paid basis, it often has more impact because the readers of that information believe it more than they would believe a paid advertisement. Direct marketing, we're exposed to all the time. This is direct mail marketing is one kind of direct marketing, or the stuff you see on late night TV. Buy this wonderful kitchen tool and get this free and that free, and we'll even give you this, and if you buy 2 of them, we'll sell it to you for less, and on and on. And call 1-800 to place your order. That's a direct marketing plan. Direct marketing is powerful, and it's we've all experienced it. Tends to be used for products that are perhaps lower quality, but doesn't necessarily have to be. But that's direct marketing. And then finally, personal selling. Much of business-to-business marketing is personal selling, where you're actually face-to-face with the customer, telling them why they should buy your product, what the advantages and values of your product are. Specialty retail also uses a lot of personal selling, whereas big box retail doesn't. Big box retailers, nobody at Walmart saying, oh, look at this great shaving cream. You should buy this shaving cream. You're going to select the shaving cream off the shelf. Whereas in a specialty store, there might be somebody there to tell you about the advantages and disadvantages of the product that that specialty retailer is marketing. So those are the 5 tools, and what marketers currently believe is that integrating these tools is really, really important. You have to have a consistent message across all layers of your marketing communications. So your advertising has to support your promotions, has to support your public relations, and so forth. If you're not consistent, you get a mixed message out there and you dilute the power of your message. So being consistent and using the proper tools to reach your target market is what integrated marketing communications is, and that is kind of the buzzword for modern marketing. So if we're going to talk about our quality, we need to have quality in all of our messages, not just in our advertising message or our public relations message. It has to be consistently presented across the board. So when you have an IMC strategy, first of all, you have to know who you're going to talk to, who's your audience, who's the target. You have to have a budget, you have to know what the issues are, and then you have to select the right tools. So if advertising is the right tool, then you're going to use advertising, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it's direct selling, personal selling, or maybe it's public relations, or maybe it's promotion, or maybe it's 3 of the 5. Lots of different ways. And then you have to be careful with your strategy to plan ahead of time for implementation. And then you have to research your effectiveness post-implementation. So a lot of you touched on that in your first and showcase. So first of all, choosing the target audience is really important. So targets we think of as being the customers, but they may be your own employees, or they may be your channel partners. So if you think about a marketer of a consumer product who's selling it through a retailer, let's use First and Show as an example, they have to appeal to the consumer, the dog owner, but they also have to appeal to whoever they're choosing to use as their channel partner. So they have to sell the idea of their product to the channel partner first, and then they can sell it to the consumer, or maybe they have to do both those things at the same time. The consumer has to demand the product, but the channel partner has to buy it and put it on the shelf. So both of those things are really important. So you need to know who your target consumer is, but you also need to know who your target distribution partner is. And then employees shows up there, and we'll talk about this a little more later. But employees, if you don't sell it to your employees first, you probably aren't going to succeed. So once again, let's use First and Show. They've been making this product and selling it to kennels. Now they're going to go off in a new direction. How do they have to get buy-in from their current employees who are involved in the kennel channel as to the idea of what they're doing. Otherwise, those employees will feel potentially left out. They may not buy into the whole process, and employees have a lot of power. They can roadblock things. So you need to make sure that you've sold this to your employees, to your proposed channel partners, and to your end consumers. The more you know about your target market, the better off you're going to be, and it'll help you choose the correct tools to reach your market. So which tools are going to be best? Is it advertising? Is it personal selling? Is it public relations? What are going to be your best tools? Two basic strategies that are used when you're working through channel partners: push and pull strategies. So push strategies is I get the retailers and wholesalers to buy the product, and then the consumers, once it's on the shelf, will buy it from the retailer. A pull strategy is to get the consumers to demand it. They demand it from their retailers, and then the demand goes back to the producers. Most companies use both strategies simultaneously, but not always, and it depends on the kind of intermediary you're using. So as an example from my own past, I was selling high-end mountaineering clothing and equipment. And rather than spend money creating demand at the consumer level, so advertising and promotion and public relations, I did some of that, but I put most of my efforts into getting the right specialty retailers to carry the product. Because in that particular market, much of what consumers decided to buy had to be coming from their specialist advisors. So people who were going, let's say, to climb Mount Everest didn't necessarily respond to advertising talking about how good a particular boot was for climbing Mount Everest. They relied on their specialty channels, their specialty retail channels, to say, this is going to be the best boot for you. And we carry these 3 boots, but this one is going to be best for you because. And that's what I focused on. My whole strategy was a push strategy. Get it into the right retailers, and then the retailers will in turn create that demand with the consumers. They'll sell it to the consumers. So push and pull, most companies do both at the same time, but they may put more emphasis on one or the other. If you look at the pull strategy, you probably have seen ads where it says, ask your grocer for XYZ product. So the advertising actually says, ask your grocer, or ask your retailer, ask your favorite store, or something like that. That's a blatant pull strategy. Tell the consumer they want it, and then they're not going to find it in the store. They have to go ask for it. And if enough people ask for it, the retailers will carry it. So that's kind of that's a pull strategy. You also have to figure out what it is you're trying to achieve. So, and it's not always, the objectives are not always monetary objectives. They may be different. So we may just be trying to raise awareness of our product. Do people know about it? We want them to know about it. Once they know about it, then the next step may be to get them to try it or buy it. But they got to know about it first. So we're just trying to create awareness. It's called influencing beliefs. Feelings that they want that product rather than other products, so they prefer that product. So they don't just know about it, but they want it. And then behavior, they actually try it. So I can be aware that a product exists, but not necessarily have any strong feeling that I want to try it. I can be aware that it exists and feel like I prefer that product, I'd like to try it, but then actually trying it is the third thing. So you may have 3 different measurements there, and there are others as well. When you're creating a promotion plan, this is where much money gets spent in marketing plans. You saw that in First and Show, where they were going to spend $500,000 or more on advertising. So what should the budget be? How do we set the budget? Well, we have an overall marketing budget, perhaps, and how much of that overall marketing budget should be spent on each one of the tools, on advertising, on promotion, and so forth. What are we trying to achieve when we set the budget? What are our competitors doing, and what do we need, or what do we hope to get for a return on investment? So this chart comes from your textbook, but I find it fairly useful. Advertising is to get messages to a large audience. and it lists a whole bunch of different kinds of items. Promotion, stimulate immediate purchase, or keep people loyal, reward them if they're loyal. Or sometimes promotion may be about motivating salespeople. PR, build a positive image, strengthen ties with stakeholders. And you see some examples there. Direct marketing, encourage a direct response, mail, email, telemarketing campaigns, catalogs, direct response, television and radio. All direct marketing. And then personal selling, talk to customers one-to-one to make sales and strengthen relationships. That's the final one of the tools. And to wrap up this section 1 here, the final one that we're going to talk about has become incredibly powerful. Word of mouth has always been a big part of marketing. Word of mouth has lots of credibility because it comes from someone you know. It's hard to measure and it's hard to create, so it's somewhat difficult for marketers to use. But modern word of mouth has become wildly more powerful than traditional word of mouth. Traditional word of mouth, I tried something, liked it, and told my friends. I might have told 5 people, maybe I told 10 people. That's probably the maximum number of people that I would have told about something I tried. But with the internet, now my friends may number in the hundreds or thousands. So word of mouth becomes incredibly powerful. So I tried something, I really like it. I have thousands of friends or hundreds of friends on various internet sites, social media sites, and I have an outsized influence at that point. So word of mouth is incredibly powerful. It's called buzz marketing, is another word for it. And creating buzz in the social media can be a very, very powerful tool. How do you do it? Not easy. Need to be ethical in doing so. And we'll talk a little bit about that going forward. So that wraps up Chapter 9, Part 1. And we'll go on after the questions following this. We'll go on to Chapter 9, Part 2. Thank you.